Hey guys, what's up? We're doing something a little different here today. In case you don't follow me on Twitter, you'll probably don't know that I've picked up speedrunning Resident Evil 1, the HD Remaster. So, thought I'd do a little voiceover over this since this is the first one I'm submitting, and actually uploading to YouTube. So the category is Jill, new game, any percent. You'll notice we picked once again. This file only has the skins unlocked, so it's just for skin preference. So we're starting by skipping a bunch of cutscenes, immediately unequipping the gun. We're going to trigger what's known as the cold feet cutscene, which is where we try to leave the room twice. Barry kind of calls us out on it. So yeah, I thought I would do some post-commentary on this just to, since it's the first speedrun I'm uploading, just to give anyone not familiar with the run some context of what's happening. We had some very sloppy movement through the dining room there. So yeah, I'm still very new at this, so this is far from a perfect run, but it is my current best time. And I happen to actually be recording for once, so... Alright, so now we're going to have our first instance of what's known as stair skating. I'm not very good at it. But you notice some kind of glitchy movement there as Jill's going up and down the stairs. You do that by holding forward on the tank controls and rapidly mashing the run button. Gets you up and down the stairs a little quicker. I don't think I mash nearly well enough to make it effective. If you watch the higher end runs, you can actually see Jill's legs don't even move. She just kind of slides up and down the stairs. And we'll be getting some more stair skating here in a minute. And that will hopefully be a little better than that first attempt. Something I desperately need to improve on. Small hang up there on the bird cage. Not too bad. Alright, so we get our first trip through the murder hall. This is murder hall light, as I like to call it. So we had a good dodge there past the zombie. Trying to bait this guy. Unfortunately, that's a zombie I like to call Mr. Grabs, as he seems to do the double grab 90% of the time. So, unfortunately, we did take some damage there. And we're going to ignore that dagger for now. We're going to make our way out to the graveyard to get the sword key. Typically, after getting grabbed in the murder hall like that, a bad graveyard, I'll just reset the game at this point. That was a little better stair skating. Fortunately, we got really good placement on that zombie, so we can just kind of ignore him. Just gonna quickly get the arrowhead and place it. This is one of the spots where stair skating better is absolutely important because it's such a long staircase. And we actually go up and down twice throughout the run, so... improving on stair skating at least there would be a nice improvement. There's a lot of optimization I can still make with this run, as the world record's like 20 minutes faster than this run. So, well, it's like 17. Anyway, we do a nice little juke to the near fence and then back out, and let's get by the zombie who was approaching there. So overall, the graveyard went really well. Yeah, not great stair skating there. Basically, the areas I still feel like I need to improve the most on are stair skating, general optimization of each room, just the movement, menuing, and certain boss strats. I also still primarily use tank controls, as the alternative controls tend to betray me. I'm sure we'll see at some point during the run. There are spots where you can use them very easily to quickly get in and out of certain areas without having to turn. But for the most part, it's kind of a pain. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and grab the chemical for later. I'm going to grab an herb here since we took damage earlier. Had we not been grabbed at all, this herb would not be bothered with. I also need to get a little better at dodging zombies, as I'm still using quite a few safe strats, particularly with defense items. We haven't picked up any yet, but we will use quite a few throughout the run. So it's all just a matter of practice. I've really only been running the game for about a month, and that's with like a 2-week hiatus in the middle where I had my wisdom teeth pulled, so this is, I want to say, like my 5th or 6th actual complete run. So I'm pretty happy with the timing. Caught that zombie sleeping and was able to get by him very easily. He didn't even lunge. I feel like I get that dodge about 50% of the time. That dodge right there is very consistent. As long as you hug the wall, you can dodge him pretty easily. So in this room we're going to grab the lighter and the dog whistle. Movement was a little suboptimal there. There was a instance of using the alternate controls to not have to turn back to the door. So we're going to dodge this guy again the exact same way. And I believe we get caught right here, because that zombie was right in our face as we transitioned. Sometimes you can catch him walking into the wall where that double door is, and you can just run behind him very easily. Unfortunately, that was not the case on this run. So we're going to make our way over to the west terrace where the dogs are. It's now our goal to get the armor key. So we're going to grab our first defense item here. This is why I bypassed this earlier, is because I would rather have it for the dogs and not risk wasting it on a zombie. Okay, so here what we're going to do is quickly equip the handgun, blow the dog whistle, and I'm going to position myself in this corner next to the door. Also grabbing a quick heal there where we got bit. Now you're going to see me pointing at the wall there. What I'm doing is mashing the change target button so I know exactly when the dogs spawn. Okay, the dog pounced on me there. That's actually the best outcome because it lets the dagger kill the dog. And we grab the collar and get through the door without actually taking any damage or having to fight the second dog. I'm unequipping the gun there. You move much faster when you don't have a gun. I had a bit of a misstep there as I forgot where I was going for a brief moment. Oh, we actually got the double dodge on that. So there's an instance of the double grab failing for once. So, I actually forgot I dodged that. Okay, so now we're just going to run past the Crimson Head. Just ignore him like you do even in a casual playthrough. Head up to the armor key. I probably should have unequipped the gun before leaving the balcony, but overall, I think it kind of evens out. So here we got this long unskippable cutscene of the trap triggering. And what we're going to do is examine the collar, flip the switch, get the fake key, extend it, drop it back in really quickly. Or as quickly as I'm capable of at the moment. Watching some of these more experienced runners go through menus is kind of insane. Looks like they're selecting options that aren't even highlighted. It's crazy. Alright, so now we get the true murder hall now that the Crimson Head is active. And we dodged the Crimson Head, but unfortunately did not get past the zombie. Or the fat zombie, bald zombie, whatever you want to call it. We got round 2 with Mr. Krabs, which also failed. Now, unfortunately, we are getting at low health here. That's why Jill's clutching her side. We want to avoid this as much as possible as it slows your movement speed. Unfortunately, the timing of this, it's going to be quite a bit before we can heal up because we're just not going to have the inventory space. So we're going to make our way over to the grenade launcher. Unlock that door with the armor key. You'll notice the text is in traditional Chinese, as that is the fastest language for text scrolling. It actually threw me off changing to that because I defaulted to Japanese, since that's typically the fastest in most games. Anyway, we're going to grab that dagger there. That's one I normally skip, but since I'm at low health, I'd just grab it for safety. There is one very dangerous zombie we have to get by later, which I'm not confident in dodging without full movement speed. But yeah, text is in traditional Chinese. It's just faster. Less things to mash through. Alright, so we're gonna go pop in here and say hi to Richard for a brief moment. So yeah, we gotta make the run to get Richard's serum. There's not really any way to avoid this, as it's faster to just go get the serum and come back rather than wait the 5 minutes for Richard to die. But we can make a pit stop along the way. And pick up one of the death masks. So we're headed back to the room right before the terrace where the dogs were. This time we're actually going to go down the stairs. Can hear a zombie trying to get in. I believe we actually get down the stairs before he gets in, so we never actually see him. Okay, we have a zombie on the stairs. Zombies on the stairs, or on an uneven surface, always try to puke on you rather than grab you. We had some bad movement there as I accidentally went around that corner. So, zombies on stairs are extremely easy to avoid. So here we have our first item box. We're going to drop the pistol, the knife, and the sword key. We're going to grab the serum, and we're going to head back outside and further down this hallway. So we've got this zombie here. I'm just going to take the super safe strat here. Just try to lure him to one side of this pillar, so I can go around the other side and avoid him completely. If I was at full health, you could try to take the corner really quickly and bypass him, but I wasn't going to risk it. Here I kind of picked the battery up out of habit. I don't really need it because I didn't use the dagger I picked up near the grenade launcher. So that's kind of unnecessary, but I believe it pays off later. Okay, so here we just quickly drop in the chemical, and we just rapidly mash through the options since it defaults to the correct choices. Now that we have inventory space, we're going to grab some of these green herbs here and get ourselves back to full health and movement. I don't know how many I needed to grab, I just grabbed 3 to be sure. I'm sure it would take less than that just to get back to normal speed, but... So there we go, health and speed restored. And we grab the first death mask. I actually got stuck there on the planner. But yeah, there's lots of small things that can be done to optimize this run. Primarily not getting stuck on random crap. So we just ignore those zombies like normal. We're going to take this door, which takes us to the hallway next to the dining room. We're going to make our way back to Richard now. We get a brief little glimpse of the zombie I like to call Gandalf, because he does not like to let me pass. So yeah, we just headed back to Richard. And we're going to give Richard the serum. And then we're just going to progress through the door past him. A little unnecessary movement right there. That's where I need to actually get better with the alternative controls. That's not even a hard one, I just forgot to do it. So we're going to try to juke this guy. We got it. Super safe strat there is you can lure him onto the stairs and dodge him that way. If you really want to, but fortunately I got the dodge there. And this is a room that can go very bad very quickly. I'm going to light the candle, the zombie from outside comes in, so we have to quickly push that. I failed the dodge here. We got him with a dagger. Going to grab the music sheets, and he actually grabbed us from behind, which is awful. The one bonus there is it doesn't use up a defense item. So we've still got our stun battery at least. And it didn't slow our speed, so there's at least that. Anyway, we got the musical score. Now it's time to go say hi to Gandalf again. I'm gonna just grab a safety herb here. Not going to use it yet, but I just went ahead and grabbed it. Trying to keep the amount of times we have to go into the menu to a minimum. And then we have another issue where I have issues getting on and off both sets of those stairs on the sides. I don't know why. It's one of those things I always get stuck. I guess it's just a weird camera angle to come at. Alright, so let's see if Gandalf behaves this time. I believe he does. Looks like he's sleeping on us a bit, but we did finally get the lunge. Alright, so in the piano room, we're going to quickly go over to the shelf. We're going to give it one solid push, and then you can actually grab the music sheet from behind it. So that was a little bit of wasted movement right there. Go ahead and use the herb since we had the menu here anyway. There's another instance of the alternative controls not quite working out for me. Anyway, swap the emblems and back to the dining room. On the way back through, Gandalf's zombie's not nearly as bad. So you can just run through his side like that. That is like 100% safe. And now we drop off the gold emblem, we do the clock puzzle, and we get the shield key. It's time to go say hi to our big snaky friend. So this puzzle's easy. It's a second option, first option. I did make a small mistake there by not canceling out when prompted. So went to turn it again, but you're able to cancel out from that, so it's very small loss. Anyway, got the shield key. It's time to go say hi to Richard again. Fortunately, this will be the last time we say hi to Richard. Alright, now we're headed to Yawn, or Big Ol' Snake. And this is actually one of the more dangerous parts of the run, is getting poisoned by Yawn. The run's over. The only way to cure poison at this point is to run all the way back to the same place we got Richard's serum, and that was like a couple minutes. So if you get poisoned by Yawn, the run's over. First part of that cutscene isn't skippable, the second half is. So we just kind of let Richard distract Yawn right there and run between him and the wall. We loop back around, and Yawn went about as well as it could. No! Alright, so rip Richard. But we now have 2 death masks. And we're headed back into the hallway here. We're going to loop back around to those double doors. That zombie's extremely easy to dodge just by ducking through the little corridor there. So this is a zombie I have some issue with, just because it's right on the screen transition. So there we have that battery pack paying off. I believe we can dodge that by staying further away from the corner and running directly to the wall. But, yeah. I need to practice that one a little more. So here, this puzzle's the same as it always is. Just push the statues in. Do it in the correct order. Hit button, get box. We're not going to open the box right away. We're going to save that till we actually have to get the mask out. But that gives us death mask number 3. So now we're going to head back to the room with 3 zombies. Now, unlike our first trip through here, we can dodge this guy extremely easily. That's pretty much 100%. Make our way downstairs, and this zombie's in an awkward position. Thankfully, we did get the dodge. We're going to duck into this save room real quick for the sole purpose of grabbing these incendiary shells. We have a mistake there, as I was still too close to the first aid spray, which we actually do not need. So a slight turn to the left dodges that guy every time. Now we're going to head to the stained glass room, I believe it's called. I keep wanting to call it the painting room, but they're not really paintings. Anyway, this puzzle's the same as it always is. Flip the first switch, run around to the other side, flip the next 2 switches. And then flip the switch at the end. Grab the final death mask, and we are in perfect position in the graveyard. Which is now perfectly safe because the 2 zombies that were out here have gone somewhere. Wherever it is, it's not here. So now we have our second trip down and eventually up the long staircase. Again, need to get better at stair skating. Got ahead of myself there, started going towards where the Elder Crimson Head spawns. Thankfully I caught it before going too far. So this is the point where we open the box. Accidentally hit that button twice. It's mostly a lot of small mistakes I need to clean up. So snap that mask in place. Do the same here. Had a little bit of movement issue there. I just tried to be overcautious with the placement. Sometimes the masks can be finicky. For this one, we're going to combine the grenade launcher with the incendiary rounds, equip it, and we're trying to place the mask, but like I just said, they are finicky at times with the positioning. So we actually lost some time there. So now we're going to go trigger the actual boss fight. So when the fight starts, we're actually going to run forward to close the distance. So we want to shoot him at close range. And we got some bad RNG there as he fell down. Ideally, we want him to stand up for all 3 shots. But we finished him nonetheless. Accidentally selected the lighter. Unequipping the grenade launcher, and we are headed out of the mansion with our new stone and metal object. So we've got one more zombie to dodge, and kind of an inconsequential dog. So here's the last dodge of Mansion 1. And we got it. It's actually been a little bit since this run, so I don't remember exactly how every single dodge went, but we do have some finicky placement there with the stone and metal object. Okay, so here we're gonna grab the battery off the shelf. Just another safety strat. Try to grab the first aid spray. Unfortunately, I checked the shelf. I like to grab the first aid spray there in case of bad luck with Lisa. Some people get it on the way back through. So here we're just cautiously stopping the weather vanes. I believe we had decent RNG with these this time. Yeah, not the best, but it's reasonable. Can't be too upset by it. So the graveyard's just a straight shot through. We're not going to bother with the Magnum. In fact, from this point on, you're pretty much not going to see anything but the grenade launcher up until near the end of the game. We fire a very precise number of shots. So just making our way to the cabin. There's a tricky little turn for the stair skating. And a neat little thing is that you can actually open the door without going up the stairs there. As long as you get close enough to it. Which is nice because those stairs are kind of hard to angle at. And we got a pretty reasonable path through the cabin there. Not too bad. So we grab the crank. Now we're going to stop by the item box and we're going to drop the lighter and the armor key. Lisa's home. Get the bonk. Let me get this unskippable cutscene here. Takes a bit. We're going to try to dodge around Lisa to the left. Or Jill's left. Alright, so we got the Lisa dodge. Feel like I get that dodge 9 out of 10 times. She clipped me on a previous run, but thankfully didn't do enough damage to slow me down. Alright, so there's a zombie on this path now. I believe I just don't chance it and just go around the tree, yeah. That zombie can be in a few different positions. Sometimes you can just run right by him, sometimes you have to juke him. I decided to just play it safe and go around the tree. So not much else going on here, we're just making our way back to the guard shack. Then we're going to head over to the residence. A bit of unnecessary movement there. Not particularly great. Got stuck on that weather vane. All these little small mistakes that add up. Thankfully they're all stuff that can be fixed with practice. And just familiarizing myself with the turns more. Alright, so these dogs, we can just run by them. Get a little hung up on the side there, but we didn't get hit, which is the important part. Now it's time to use the crank, which is the bane of my existence. As it seems so difficult just to get in position for it. So I just kind of cautiously positioned myself there. We had some really awkward movement there with the alternative controls. I don't know what I was going for there. Like, as many mistakes as it looks like I'm making, the fact this is a PB is kind of sad. But it did beat my previous record by like 4 minutes. Or almost 4 minutes. So, thankfully that one wasn't recorded. So we're just gonna turn and go straight to the residence. There's nothing else to do in this area right now. We're gonna make our way through, avoiding these snakes, which are pretty... I don't think I've ever been bit by those snakes. I think they're just mostly there to scare you. Alright, so we're going to head into the rec room, and we're going to say hi to Larry, the cooperative spider. See, there he is. Everybody say hi. Run down the stairs quickly, grab the red book, and back up we go. And Larry mostly cooperated. He started to attack. Sometimes he won't even get off the door, which is interesting because you can still go through it. So we're not going to bother with the crate, we're just going to tank the hit from the tentacle. Nah, it was actually bad as I didn't get a quick break right there. Which is the first time in quite a while. So I believe I get the quick break in the next 2 passes. Now overshot that door. Yeah, this run's mostly... The way I'm going to improve this is mostly just through practice. Okay, there's the quick break. So into room 001. I'm just going to ignore everything, go straight to the bathroom. Drain the tub, grab the control room key. And it's very important that we pick up the key. I actually lost a run that was going pretty well because I forgot to grab the key. Came in, drained the tub, turned it left. Didn't pick up the key. Realized it when I got down to the shark tank that I could not open the door. That was not my proudest moment. Alright, so here we have the final pass of the tentacle. Got the quick break. You do that simply by flailing wildly on the left analog stick. Mashing run and action at the same time helps as well. At least a little bit. It seems to. I think the flailing's the most important. So there's a zombie in here now. If we go to his left side, we can bypass him completely. That is extremely safe. I'm gonna shove these bookshelves out of the way. Actually, I had an issue getting on the ladder right there as Jill tried to grab the bookshelf again. It is actually possible to push the right shelf without pushing the left shelf. I haven't quite got the hang of that yet. I haven't really tried it. We had good movement right there to get in position for the boxes. That's something that I can at least be happy with here. So now we're just pushing boxes. There's not much to talk about here. Other than this is one of the places where the alternative controls actually did come in fairly handy for getting into position. Yeah, the alternative controls tend to spaz out whenever the screen transitions. That's kind of their biggest issue. You'll be going wild one way, then you get into a new camera angle and you're suddenly going a wildly different direction. Even though you didn't move the stick. Alright, so next up we have the shark ring. And it's technically faster to take the outside ring and then transition into the middle ring. I've not practiced actually doing that. I always take the outside ring. This is how I've always done it with this game. So that's something I need to work into the route eventually. I believe we actually get bit by the shark here. Yeah. So that's a rare thing. I'm just going to use the first aid spray immediately to get my move speed back. It had been a really long time since I've been bitten by a shark. Alright, so we get the classic drain the water puzzle. I like to check this in advance, so you can still see the number clearly even if you're using a different language.
Emergency. Unknown source of pressure detected. Locking all doors to achieve maximum safety.
It's actually faster to check the note while doing this, as it wastes less movement.
Reaching 30% of pressure threshold.
Using tank controls there because of all the camera changes. And we had an accident where I thought I was at the wrong spot. I wasn't. So that was a mistake. Anyway, we got the shutters down, so puzzle solved at least. And we just drain the water. So next up we have a trick called Neptune Skip, which looks way more dangerous than it actually is. This was a trick I was very hesitant to work into the run, but so far I've yet to fail it. In the I think it was 4 runs I've done at this point, I've gotten it every time. So fingers crossed that streak continues. So normally what you do here is you'd wake the shark up and then you just push the thing into the water and electrocute it. But with Neptune Skip, we're going to actually jump into the water and just kind of hold left as we go, and we actually avoid the shark completely, grab the key, and skip the long cutscene of it being electrocuted. So, we at least got a good Neptune Skip. So, time to head back up to the residence. We are going to have to dodge that zombie up top. I don't remember if I dodged it successfully or not. It's one of those ones where if he doesn't cooperate, sometimes you just have to tank the hit. And since we used a first aid spray, we are at full health, so we can tank the hit without going into caution. Or at least low enough caution to slow their movement speed. So, did I get the dodge? I don't think I did. No, he's sleeping on us right now and just not wanting to lunge. At this point, it would have been faster to just take the hit. Yeah, we should have just taken the hit there and moved on. So sometimes zombies will do that. It's called sleeping, to where they'll just walk towards you and just refuse to lunge at you. Some zombies are very annoying about that. That one in particular. Since there's such a narrow space to work with. Alright, so we just grab the pesticide like normal. Gonna head out and hope for good B RNG. There is actually B RNG. Grab the map, pump in the pesticide, and it is actually RNG how quickly these bees die. I believe it's like between 3 and 6 seconds. And that wasn't particularly good. So now it's time to retrieve the room 003 key and go say hi to our pal Plant 42. Plant 42 was actually a surprisingly annoying run-ender when I first started the run, doing the speed run. So I would mistime my shots and we'd come in with a very specific amount of ammo. Fortunately, that's not really an issue now. Anyway, we got this puzzle to arrange the books. It's pretty straightforward. I don't know if that was actually the optimal way to do it, but it was quick enough for me. I don't have any real complaints about how that went. So here I just go up this side. A lot of runs, you'll see them go up the other side, Took our way long to get into position. Unfortunately, we did get hit there. We're going to get 2 shots on it. That's going to show this cutscene here. And then we can very quickly get a 3rd shot and kill it before it closes. There is a trick you can do there called pump canceling, where you can get your shots off more quickly. I haven't really got the hang of it just yet. We'll see me attempt it a little more later. We had a brief issue coming down the stairs. Game has some real control issues. It has 2 control methods. One is slow and the other is, like, unpredictable in what it's going to do in certain camera angles. So we skipped a scene with Wesker. Now that we have the helmet key, we're going to head back to the mansion. We're going to grab a blue safety herb on the way by. This is my good luck herb. It's primarily for just in case we get poisoned by the little snakes on the way back by the pool. As that can be quite devastating. And I like picking up the blue herb, because even if we end up not using it, we can very easily dispose of it. So we can use it even if we're not actually poisoned. Small hang up there. So try a little move there to avoid a snake bite. Only got bit. Never mind. Got bit twice. Looks like we did get poisoned, unfortunately. Though my lucky herb was not lucky this time. Wait till we get to the bottom of the ladder to consume it, just to make sure there's no more snake bites. Now, the way the item pickups are paced in this run, if you don't need to use the herb there, you can actually hold it all the way until you pass the snakes again. So if you don't use it there, it's possible to save it and use it later, either there or at Black Tiger if necessary. Anyway, we got some new items here. I'm going to grab these first aid spray and these grenade shells, just for safety. Just going to use that. Combine those while I'm in the menu. Alright, so now we get to deal with hunters. The first hunter is not an issue. We can very easily get to the door before it can do anything. But the room up ahead is kind of tricky. And this is a room where my failing at stair skating actually makes a difference. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to manipulate the hunter upstairs to come to the edge of the hallway and jump down, which it did not do. So I'm just having to use my grenades. That's why we picked up the ones in the shack. The actual goal there is to get the one up top to jump down, and then stair skate up fast enough that you can get past the one that jumps up. So, unfortunately, that's just not working out for me. I haven't practiced that enough. I don't know what the audio cues are, and I don't stair skate fast enough. So we tackle this room as normal. Statue goes in, run out, press the switch, run back in, puts the statue into place. So nothing too unusual here. So just run back around, the statue in position, door opens, and we get to go down the hole. Okay, so we grab the red book, skip the text, hit the button on the gravestone, and we get to drop down to the basement. Okay, so you guys remember Larry the cooperative spider? Well, this is his brother Daryl. And this is his other brother Daryl. It is so easy to get around those spiders. The spiders are like by far the least aggressive thing in this game. So I'm going to grab this other herb here for the trip back past the snakes, since I had to use my other herb. I'm grabbing that. I don't really need to, most likely. And here I just said screw it and pulled out the grenade launcher. Yeah, I didn't need to pick up the dagger because I had a battery. I miscounted my defense items right there. So, I'm going to turn the power on it. We should be able to get back through before the zombies become really active again. So this brings us into the kitchen. We want to grab another dagger off the table here. You actually want to grab stuff off of elevated surfaces because it skips the animation of Jill leaning down to pick it up. I believe I failed this grab. Yeah, I did. I failed this one. So that's actually a fairly easy zombie to dodge, as you can just lure it up further towards the counter and dodge it by the wall. I got a little too ahead of myself there. So the zombie didn't look like it was wanting to lunge. So there's a zombie here we can dodge fairly consistently by hugging the right wall. I don't remember if I got it. Or the left wall, rather. So I did get it, but not the wall I thought. Other runs I've seen, they've hugged the other wall and dodged it. Maybe it has some variance in its positioning, I'm not quite sure yet. Either way, we've got the battery. Alright, and welcome to my least favorite part of the run. Reverse Murder Hall. So I'm going to try to bait this. Got it. Now this is one where I typically fail. So yeah, we got grabbed by the Crimson Head. Jab it with a dagger. Don't know why I went behind it. Fortunately, couldn't bait that. I get a little too panicky when the Crimson Head is active. So we did take some damage there. Thankfully, not enough to slow us down. There are some green herbs coming up before the fight with Jan. Think I grabbed one. Maybe both. Just to make up the damage from that hit. Probably not necessary, as Jan doesn't really do a lot. And I was having issues with the camera angle right there. So yeah, we grabbed an herb. Yeah, we only grabbed one. Okay, so here's Jan. We're going to grab our grenade launcher again. Eat the herb. We're going to attempt to pump cancel. I don't know if we got it quite about we wanted there. I don't know what that shot was at. Yeah, so with better pump canceling, you can actually get 4 shots on Jan before coming down the ladder. It takes 5 regular grenades to drop him. Alright, so we're going to take one last trip through Murder Hall. Thankfully it's a short one. Yeah, very bad movement through the armor key room. So this looks kind of dangerous, but it's actually extremely consistent. I overshot that door slightly. So having some issue there hitting the light switch, not sure why. Grabbing these extra grenade shells. Going to equip them immediately. That's actually one of the issues with the safety herb, is you normally wouldn't have to do that. You really only need to push that once. I still do it twice out of safety. So now we have to beat the bird over here. Looks like we barely did it. Somehow accidentally checked the statue again. Either way, we got the red gem. We got an extra defense item too. There's not many zombies left in the game. There is one that can be a bit tricky. Alright, so if you dodge that, or if you run by that hunter to the left, that is actually 100% consistent. As long as you don't stop moving, you'll get to the door before he lands on you. Then we have more issues getting on these stairs, and what is happening there? Took that turn way too early. So we're going to head in here and go to the mirror room. Throw away the helmet key there to make a free space. So we're going to try to circle around this guy. And that was a mistake as we were too close to the green herb. Get the jewelry box. And we got out of the room fairly clean other than the green herb incident. Alright, so with that we're going to head back to the guard shack. Or the shed or whatever it is. We're headed back outside the mansion to place the battery. And make our way into the mines. We're going to do that via the graveyard. Back through the stained glass puzzle. And we have a hunter here that's extremely easy to dodge 99% of the time. She just hangs slightly to the left. That hunter has actually killed me. Like from full health to dead. I had a run going that was like 2 or 3 minutes ahead of my best at the time. It clipped me once, turned around and quickly clipped me again, and then I panicked and it hit me with the leading attack before I could get out the door. So I've actually lost an entire run to that hunter. So I never underestimate it anymore. Alright, so we're going past the small snakes again. Did not get hung up on that post this time. Did not screw up the ladder this time. We did get bit, but we did not get poisoned, which is the more important thing there. At this point, I'm just going to keep hanging on to that blue herb for Black Tiger. Not really necessary, but it doesn't really affect my inventory at all at this point. So we're just going to YOLO run over to the battery placement here. We weren't quite close enough. That dog is coming for blood. Thankfully it just did that little, like, love tap, which is, of all the things it can do, that is the least annoying. It's really annoying if it grabs your wrist or pounces on you. We got another tap right there. Just surprising, that dog's usually kind of peaceful. Don't really have issues with that one too often. Alright, so we have crank number 2, which went pretty well. I don't know what it is. I always have trouble lining up for the crank. I'm either too far to the left, too far to the right. So it's made me overcautious with the placement. Now with the blue herb, you don't really need to carry it to blue or Black Tiger, as there is another blue herb in the room right after him. I'm just keeping it on my person, because I'll have to unequip my grenade launcher or something anyway. Okay, got kind of hung up on the fountain, but no issues with the dogs. And we've made it to the mine. So this is going to go how it typically does. We're going to go see Enrico, get the other crank. We're going to hopefully dodge some hunters on the way back through. And I accidentally went into the menu there. So dodge this hunter is typical. Would have been better to hug the inside a little more. Still got by him though, that's the most important thing. So now there's 2 hunters up ahead, and I don't quite remember how I got by them. I think I succeeded. Don't know what happened there, I got stuck on the wall. Tried to turn for the door too early. Yeah, I think I got this. Yeah, somehow we threaded between them. Thankfully they were stupid and screaming at me instead of swinging. Here I think I'm going to open the item box and ditch the first crank. I believe it would have been more optimal there to swap it for the first aid spray that's in there. We're going to do the jewelry box puzzle now, just to minimize trips to the menu. I don't have this quite down, but I do have a specific order I use to place the pieces that lets me get through it reasonably quick. Wasn't too bad. We got the emblem key. Go ahead and activate it while we're here. And now we crank. So now we get to dodge the boulder. Which isn't too big of an issue, though I took a little bit too much time there. It's actually possible to trigger it without getting to that final screen transition. I don't know why I turned there. For some reason, my instinct coming out of a cutscene is to do a 180. I'm not sure exactly why that is. Alright, so Black Tiger, I believe this fight went really, really poorly. That's what I'm trying to do, is bait him over near the door. But instead he actually did hit me with that charge. And that takes a long time to recover from. So we're just going to kill Black Tiger. That's another spot where I should have been pump canceling, but I was not. We're just going to grab the survival knife and do it the hard way. You can clear these webs with the grenades. So that's kind of what you want to do, is get Black Tiger over by the door so you can shoot him with the grenades and kill him and open the door at the same time. Unfortunately, it did not work out like that. So now that we're past that, we can go ahead and use that herb. Unfortunately, we are in caution. So we are moving kind of slow. I'm going to have to call an audible right here. As we do this, I'm going to dodge this boulder, then make my way up behind it to grab the first aid spray that's hidden back there. And you can just mash through this as it automatically goes back to the crank. So I just run into the little cubby hole. So yeah, now I'm calling my audible here to go get the first aid spray. And it's worth noting that I did not unequip the knife. You don't have to, as the knife does not slow your movement speed like a gun will. So there's no reason to unequip the knife right here. So this puzzle is the absolute bane of trying to use the alternative controls. As you can see, I just kind of gave up right there. This one room has like 3 camera angles and they're all terrible. This is a puzzle I still need to optimize a little bit as far as where to actually place the statue. I believe I can push it one less time and still get it away from the wall. And that'll speed things up a little. Yeah, I'm just trying not to step on the little center plate. So just push it off, then right back on. Decided to just take the little turn right there. Taking it very slowly with the positioning. Alright, now we just slide it into place. And that will get us the cylinder. So now we get to run all the way back to the start of the mine. Thankfully the mine is not a very long area. Basically just back through Black Tiger's room. And we'll get to the second part of the mine where we get to hang out with Lisa and Barry for a bit. Some runs won't even kill Black Tiger right there, and they'll have to dodge him as they come back through the room. Not in this case, though. wish I hadn't taken that hit, but whatever. So we're going to open this item box. We're going to drop off the crank and the knife. Now ideally you wouldn't have had to pick the knife up to begin with. And in the case of the crank, that's actually unnecessary, as is, you can carry the crank with you through the rest of the game without an issue. Okay, so I actually took a hit from the hunter there, as I took that turn too late. Thankfully not too much of a concern. Alright, so we're going to get the shaft, combine it with the cylinder, go through the typical button prompts, which this is the same every time, 4, 2, 3, 1. And we get to say hi to Barry very briefly, though you may not even get to see him due to skipping cutscenes. Alright, so here we're going to do the same trick I did when I did the casual playthrough. We're just going to spawn Lisa on one side and go the other way. It's actually much faster to just try to dodge her, but I'm just playing super safe at this point. So here we've got to put the box on the lift, one push that way, and then just all the way on. And easy peasy. Alright, and we get to go bait Lisa again. Same trick as before, spawn her in one side, go around the other. Actually got a little closer to her than I wanted there. I believe right here I start to head the wrong way, but I caught myself. I've done that more times than I care to admit. Right there I got caught on something that kept me just out of range of the door. Not quite sure what happened there. First time I'd seen that. And we say goodbye to Barry. So now we need to push the crate into the trash compactor and get the broken flamethrower so that we can progress a little further. So hop down, grab our flamethrower, head back to Lisa. Same trick as we've done twice. Spawn her one way, go the other. Again, it would be faster to actually just dodge her, but not doing it. So this is bringing us pretty much to the end of the mine section. So once we get past this area, we'll be in Lisa's little hideout and then back to the hut. Okay, so spawner there. I don't know what she was doing turning, but I think this was actually kind of a close call, as she did not travel as far as she typically does when I do this. Because, yeah, she's right there, and typically she's not even on screen at this point. Anyway, through the door. We had no issues with Lisa. I don't think we had issues with Lisa at all in this run. Anyway, into the water. Make a quick turn, grab the other box, and back up to the cabin. So now we just make the run back to the mansion. And it's into the lab, and GG. Though every time I go through that door, I expect to get bonked. It's like engraved into my brain. We do have 2 zombie dodges on the way back. We had to dodge that one zombie again, plus the one that's in the graveyard now. I believe I just took the safe route on this one again, just went around the tree. Yeah. Little spasms from attempting to use alternative controls. This is another easy dodge. Just around the side, he'll miss every time. And we are almost completely clear back to the we're clear back to the mansion, but we're almost clear to the lab. Or at least to the Lisa fight. So okay, well, the most important thing here is to not forget to pick up the stone and metal object. I have lost more than one run to forgetting that. There we go again with that instinct to do a 180. I need to break that habit very badly. Alright, so the hunter in this room we have to dodge twice. By just taking a good angle and mashing through the door quickly. And we'll have to dodge him again on the way out as we head back into the stained glass room. Missed the light switch. Grab the metal object, and now we dodge the hunter again. This hunter isn't too terrible to dodge. Okay, so we'll take this back through the graveyard and to the main hallway, and make our way to see Lisa. I guess on the YouTube channel this will be the first time you guys get to see Barry's Magnum. Because, didn't get that in the casual playthrough. But it is a key component to the speedrun. Poor movement right there. I have to get better at stair skating. Because actually coming up through this door is another area where it's very key to do it quite a bit, because there are a lot of stairs coming up. I don't know why I checked that so many times. Anyway, throw that object in, open box. Combine in place. Yeah, and here comes the stair gauntlet. Yeah, there's lots of stairs here. I believe there's 4 sets total. There's 1 set coming up, I think, through the door. So the Lisa fight coming up, the faster strategy is to use Barry's Magnum to shoot her off the side. Unfortunately, I'm not that comfortable with that strategy yet. I've attempted it twice. It worked once and failed miserably the other time. Completely derailed the run after that. So instead I'm just going to push this off and do the fight normally. Try to loop around her, get a dodge. Yeah, what you'd ideally do is grab the Magnum and shoot her off the side, and that would actually skip some of the cutscene at the end of the fight. For whatever reason, I cannot get around that stone thing, and Lisa's getting very close. So yeah, if you'd knocked her off, the cutscene would have ended right there, as the door opened. You'd skip this part entirely. Another thing, I should have actually just picked the gun up, even if I didn't intend to do that strat, so I don't have to walk back to it. Either way, I'm just happy to get through the Lisa fight. So this is Barry's Magnum. It one-shots pretty much anything in the game not named Lisa. And you only get 6 shots with it. If you do the strategy of pushing Lisa off the side, you only have 3 shots remaining when you come out. So we have the flexibility of at least having more shots. So now we gotta open the books and place the medals to get into the lab. Now we got an awkward bit of stair skating around a curve, which could have gone better. Alright, but we are in the lab now, so this is the final stretch. The lab is actually a very short area. Alright, so ideally we'll be able to avoid all the zombies here. There's 3 total. This guy here, one on the stairs, and one back towards the other room. So we got by that guy. I believe this guy got me. Yeah. Thankfully we had a dagger for him. There's the 3rd guy who we're just going to ignore. If we could have got around faster, we could have avoided the guy on the stairs easily. So he would have tried the vomit technique instead of the grab. Anyway, here's our first victim for the Magnum. So we have to clear the path to run the fuel canister. And this takes us into the computer room, which is the same as always. Just quickly enter the username, password, second password. As always, it is John, Ada, and finally the password is Cell. I could have done the inputs a little faster. For some reason I keep thinking there's a delay between inputting Ada, but there is not. So I was a little slow to actually starting typing it. Alright, so we've opened all the rooms. So now we have to make our way back upstairs, get into that side room to get the laboratory key, which will require a zombie dodge. 2 if you count the one on the stairs. Actually no, the guy's not on the stairs when you're coming through this way. So 1 zombie dodge. It's 2 on the way back. I believe I got it. Yeah, I did. Getting grabbed there is not the end of the world, as there is a first aid spray just in this room, right in front of you. Overshot the keypad. Password's always the same. Dodging him on that pass is way easier, as is dodging Stairman. So now we're going to go pick up the fuel canister. Now I'm going to kill this zombie. More experienced runners typically will not. They'll just lure him onto the stairs and dodge him. I want to just keep the gun equipped, because we're going to need it in this next room too. So we want to kill this Chimera. We actually missed a shot. This leaves us with 2 bullets, which is the perfect amount. That's one of the reasons I'm a little iffy about the strategy of pushing Lisa off the side, is that it only leaves you with 3 shots and you need 1 for the Tyrant. So you really only have 2 shots to work with. Problem is there's 4 things you need to kill. In my case, better runners only kill 2. Though I do have those 2 grenade shots I could use if absolutely necessary. Just in case I somehow miss the Chimera a second time. And if you are forced to use all your magnum shots, you can... There's some incendiary rounds up here you could pick up, which I believe are enough to put the Titan down. I'm picking that up for safety. Not entirely sure why I decided to do that. We're not in bad shape. So I'm going to use my next to last bullet to clear that zombie. There's those incendiary shells I was talking about. So we're filling the fuel canteen, and in higher tier runs they actually leave that zombie alive and just dodge him. I am not that confident. So while carrying the fuel canister, you cannot run very far. I won't say you can't run at all, so I'm clearly doing it. But yeah, you can't fire a gun, can't be hit, or you can't run very far, or it will explode and kill you immediately. You can run, I think, a maximum of 4 steps. That's why you see me alternating between running and walking. I'm walking way more than is actually necessary. I think 2 or 3 steps will actually reset the count, and you can run again. I'm just being super cautious. And going through a door does not reset the count. So if that zombie was still alive, you would do the same thing, just lure him onto the stairs and avoid him. So now we're just cautiously making our way over to the drop-off point. Alright, and we're free of that thing. So, this area is always fun. It looks more impressive than it is. So it looks like we're avoiding so many chimeras, but they're just not a threat at all. So we need to loop around here and get the power to the elevator restored, and then we're pretty much in the home stretch. So flip the power on. I love this Chimera here because he just drops in and then runs the wrong way. It kind of looks like he's just running from Jill. It's kind of funny. I don't know, one of those things that amuses me. Now we just make our way back out the same way. And now we just head over to the elevator, fight the tyrant, and make our escape. whatever reason, that other zombie that was in here is just gone. Accidentally clicked on the elevator instead of the panel. So it's time for the final showdown with the Tyrant. This final epic struggle. Skip 3 cutscenes, say hi to Tyrant, and the fight's over. Now here I messed up. I actually went too far to the right and checked Wesker instead of grabbing the key. So that was a small waste of time. We have to activate the computer in the back. And I took that turn too early. And from here on out, it's just a sprint to the last elevator. So yeah, there's still plenty of room to improve this run. There's so many just small mistakes. Get better at boss strats, get better at stair skating. But I'm kind of proud of this run for his... Well, not the run itself, but I'm proud of the time, just because I haven't put that much time into learning the game yet. So I'm happy to have achieved this already rather than struggling too much. My goal is to get under an hour 30, which we're getting kind of close to. As I just beat my previous run by almost 4 minutes. I believe we actually got grabbed here. Yeah. Wasn't quite fast enough. So I just make my way into the save room. For some reason had an issue with the door. So many just small errors. Now this was actually an error, I believe. Well, that definitely was, failing to open it twice, because it's very precise that you have to be looking at the lid. I think it would have overall been faster to just not use the healing item. Especially since I failed to open the first aid kit twice. So yeah, here's the final stretch. Skip the last cutscene with Brad. Make our way over, grab the battery, throw it into place. Then we're just an elevator ride and a few skipped cutscenes away from the end. Alright, so that pretty much brings us to the end of this. Let me know if you guys enjoyed speedruns. I may post more of these if I at least get a new personal record. And I will be uploading them to the channel to submit to the leaderboard, so... yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this. We'll do more. Maybe we'll branch out into other games. And
Jill,
here we go.
you did a fine
Final
job.
time of 1:34:19. Well, plenty of room to improve, but I'm happy with it for now. And there's all the unlockables: infinite rocket launcher, infinite pistol, various game modes, and I'm not falling into the trap of saving. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed this, let me know, and we may do some more.